For gamers, Nintendo is a very early childhood memory. For me, I clearly still remember to this day on Christmas getting my Nintendo NES from under the tree, unwrapping it, holding it up, excited. I had like a blue jean jacket on me. This is when like blue jean stuff was like really in style. This was probably late 80s because I think it came out in 1985 here in the US. But it was a very big moment for me playing the original Zelda game with the golden cartridge, playing the original Mario game, playing the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, which to this day I think was rigged because that shit was hard as fuck. And then they got the Super Nintendo. I remember playing Super Mario World. That game to me, goated. One of the best games of all time. And I was really surprised how much better that game was, even compared to Mario 3, because Mario 3 on the NES was terrific. And then I got the Super Street Fighter game for the Nintendo the Super NES. And it was terrific. It was great. So my first two gaming consoles, if I don't count my brother's Atari that I played on, they were Nintendo. The NES, the Super NES. Nintendo was the king in those days. And then they proceeded to release the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch 2. So far, the only two Nintendo consoles I have not gotten was the GameCube and the Switch 2. Now, I would like to get the Switch 2 because there are games coming out for it that I think I would love to play. But it's going to be very painful for me to even give them my money at this point. Nintendo has become a company that I don't know if I can support anymore. It's being reported by Pirate Nation that Nintendo demands Palworld remove mod support, claiming it's illegal. Now think about this. Think how broad that's a general statement is. Now, I don't think they are claiming that all mods are illegal, but if you do try to make that statement and you get that ruling to come down for you in the courts, I mean, God, just think of the implications and how far that will reverberate throughout the gaming industry. So Nintendo asserts that Palworld's mods expose developers to lawsuits unless removed. They are also suing over the Pokemon mod, alleging Palworld's success relies on stolen Pokemon art. So here's my thing. If this Pokemon mod is an issue with copyright infringement because of Pokemon art, that's not a Pocketpair issue. That's not a Palworld issue. You go after the mod maker. You go after the sites hosting those mods. That's what Nintendo should be doing. But look, they don't care about that mod. All they're trying to do is use that mod as an example to go after Pocketpair. And here's why. Because Pocketpair is trying to use that mod to claim that the features that they're coming after Pocketpair for already existed in other games elsewhere, supposedly. Nintendo's claim appears to be an attempt at blocking Pocketpair from using popular Pokemon mods as evidence that the franchise's patented gameplay was already being featured in other games elsewhere. The argument put forth by Nintendo essentially that mods require a separate base game to function, so therefore they are not art by themselves. I think mods themselves are art. Just because they can't function without a base game doesn't mean the mod itself is not art. Now, this has raised eyebrows across the gaming industry and among Pokemon fans alike, with many suggesting it could have far-reaching consequences if accepted by a judge, and it could. And that's the fear of what this type of ruling could mean. Now, here's my problem with what Nintendo's doing. Here's my biggest concern out of all of it. It's that they are able, with patents, able to selectively choose who they go after or who they leave alone. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember which one, but like with copyright or trademark, one of those two, maybe both, you are legally obligated, if you have the copyright or trademark, legally obligated to enforce it by going after people who violate it with lawsuits and stuff legally. If you choose not to, then I think you run the risk of losing that copyright or trademark. Again, it's one of those two. I can't remember which one exactly. Like I said, it could be both. But from what I've been told with patents, you don't have to, you're not legally obligated to go after people if they violate a patent. You can choose to go after who you want to. If 5 people violate it, you could choose to leave 3 of those people alone and only go after 2 of them in the court of law. So what I think happened here is we've probably had things that has violated Nintendo's patents before in the past, but Palworld was the biggest one. Palworld was the one that ran the biggest risk to Nintendo's Pokemon IP. See, Pokemon for Nintendo is one of their bread and butter franchises. So much so that they've gotten so lazy with it. They've become so, lackadaisical that they've not done a lot to really, I don't want to say revitalize, but evolve the Pokemon IP. It's still, in my opinion, it's become way more kiddish, way more kiddie. Oh, maybe kiddish, is that the word? Way more kid focused than it's ever been. Like some of the stuff originally with Ash, I mean, it was pretty good. It could be pretty dark as well, and the fights were incredible, the stories were incredible, but I felt like it lost some of that somewhere after what, Black and White maybe? Again, this is my opinion. I haven't followed Pokemon closely in a long time because it lost my interest. I mean, I used to buy the games all the time. Me and the kids, we'd buy the games, we'd play, we'd trade. It was a big thing in the household. My kids loved all the Pokemon cards. But at some point we got tired of it because it was the same crap, the same stuff every single time. All they did was you have more gyms you have to go to. At least eventually, I think they changed up the Elite Four and they did something slightly different, I think, in some of the newer games. But for the longest time, was you would have to go through the gyms, collect new Pokemon, get stronger, fight the Elite Four, become the Pokemon champion. And you can only do that routine so many times, and especially when you can only create so many new designs of Pokemon that are interesting. Eventually, they start looking freaking crazy and freaking nuts. And I think they've reached that level a long time ago. So I hate what Nintendo has become. I hate how they're going after Pocketpair. It is really very concerning with what they're doing. And I hope they lose. I hope beyond hope that they lose this lawsuit because of what it could mean if they win. So I know that a lot of people out there are Nintendo fans. I really do. But you have to look inside yourself and realize you have to be honest. What Nintendo's doing is dirty. They've been lazy with Pokemon. Palworld threatened them and threatened their Pokemon monopoly. And now they're going after them because they failed on their side. And when someone came in and really took what appears to be a big chunk of that market, they weren't happy. Of course not. Who would be? I mean, I can understand not being happy, but they're the ones to blame. They have not evolved their IP. All IP eventually runs its course to the point where eventually it's stale, it's old. And I think Pokemon's kind of done that. I really do. And I think Pokemon is not the Pokemon that it used to be, and I don't think it ever will be. Again, something new has to come along. Power World started doing that, and Nintendo freaked the fuck out. And they're doing things that makes them the bad guy. And I think a lot of people, a lot of gaming people, a lot of normies are realizing more and more, both with this lawsuit, with the pricing issues with Nintendo. I think a lot of people are starting to realize how bad of a company Nintendo truly is, which sucks because growing up, they were the gold standard for a family gaming company. But now they're the bad guy. They are. And I hope they lose this lawsuit. So anyway, that's all I got. I just wanted to rant on this a little bit because it's really pissing me off what Nintendo's doing with their patents, with the way they're going after selectively, they're going after Pocketpair. And the way they're essentially, in my opinion, they're trying to force certain changes on Pocketpair so much to the point that it's going to kill that game. And I think that's ultimately what they want. I think they want to kill Palworld. I hope they don't succeed. Maybe I should stream the game a little bit more and give, I don't know, I mean, for my handful of viewers that, watch my streams, maybe I should, try to get a little bit more people in there to see the game, hopefully play the game, make it a little bit more popular. Who knows? Anyway, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content. We are trying to grow our community. We've got 2 ways right now to grow it. I have a Discord link in my description. Feel free to join my Discord channel. Also, I've enabled memberships on this channel. So if you like my content, not only should you subscribe, not only should you join my Discord, feel free to join the channel as a member. I would greatly appreciate it. I love having all you guys here. Join my streams. I stream usually Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays around 8 p.m. Eastern time, my local time. So anyway, I appreciate everybody. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you think about Nintendo, and I will talk to you guys next time.